You know, no one's permanently broken. We can all heal ourselves. And as we're moving into this new age, like the stuff we can heal is like more and more. People think that certain things you can just not heal. Like, oh yeah, I was born with autism. I was born with this. Like, I'm genetically depressed. Like, you know, my parents had depression. Like, that's genetic. No, like all this stuff, that's a bunch of bullshit. You know, like no one is broken. Like it's all, if you that can will it in your mind, you have the power in your mind, you can like heal it. So just like whatever you're going through, you can fucking overcome that shit.
Man, and I feel for you, bro, and thank you so much for even going through that experience, you know, because I've also gone through bouts of, you know, and when I was younger too, where there's not a lot of mentorship, especially when you're young, they don't expect you to have such fucked up thoughts as a child. And then, you know, as a fucking kid, you're kind of dumb, logically, not to put any kids down. I mean, there's a great intelligence in children, but sometimes like I'd have thoughts and then now I had like shame attached to them. There's just a lot of crazy things that just to our own thoughts we have. So especially when it comes to the mind, to overcome mind challenges is one of the most difficult things. But overcoming and conquering the ability to unite with your mind is the greatest gift that you could ever have. So it's definitely a double-edged fucking sword. And I guess we have to go through both sides of the cutting. Wow, that's fucking powerful.
Yeah, so that brings me back. So that was the whole story that's the backstory of why I started this Qigong, right? It was to, like, literally I fractured my psyche and my thoughts were rampant and they were destroying me. They were crippling me. And that pain is what gives you the motivation to do what you need to do to heal. We all have to heal ourselves. Like, no one's coming to save us. No one's coming to heal us. I've worked with the best healers in the world, and even them, they don't want to heal you. They want you to teach you to heal yourself. So what I had to do was complete these gongs, and started with that first 100-day gong. Then it made my thoughts a little bit better. I started having more control. My organs started healing. I saw the benefit after that 100 days. I was like, yes. But then like I said, I stopped. Yeah. And then what happened a few months after I stopped is I went to one of Paul Chek's first mandala painting workshops. It's like a painting workshop where on the second day of the workshop, you go in front of the class with your painting. And this was my painting. I brought it right here. It was in my room. My soul told me just to show this on here.
It's beautiful.
This was my painting I did for that first mandala workshop. And as you can see, the energy in this painting is pretty chaotic.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so things are kind of all over the place. Like, stuff's kind of busting through the circle here. Stuff isn't supposed to go through the circle. It's just all over the place. So obviously when I stand up in front of Paul Chek, he's reading my soul, reading my painting, and he was like, he almost like started crying. He was looking at me and he could see all the pain I've been through. And it's like, I could see his eyes kind of tearing up, and he was just like, Justin, like, you know, if I was your dad, I would tell you to go join a monastery right now or something. Basically he was saying that I was so fucked, like I needed to seriously like fucking get my shit together and really, you know, recenter myself. He said, get your routine going. He's like, you need routine, you need structure. You're too all over the place. You're scattered. You're fractured, basically. So, and then also the day before he did that reading, he told the whole class. He gave the entire class of like 50 people this invitation. He was like, if any of you want to become an art therapist, your first assignment is to complete 300 days in a row of 1 hour standing meditation. Paul said 300 days. And then the second day after he told me to go join a monastery, I kind of put two and two together. Like, Paul told me to join a monastery. First day, he told the whole class about the 300 days of standing meditation. Let's do this. And then the next day, I started that gong, completed 300 days in a row. And after I did that 300 days in a row, I made the same mistake again where I was like, fuck yeah, I did 300 days in a row. Let me just take a couple weeks off. Come on, I'm going to go on this little vacation, you know, just like take some time off. I don't want to do it every day. And all the shit came back. So it showed me that, like, it's a never ending thing. You know, it's like an everyday thing. It's like, we think we just like eventually heal ourselves. Like, all our issues are going to go away. You reach this certain level. No, I still have fucking issues. I still have dark thoughts. It just gets better over time the more the more consistent you are and the more effort you put in. But you really, that's the key. It's like every day. You can't miss. So basically, then after that 300 days, after those 2 weeks I took off again, that's when I've been on since then. That was February 1st, 2022. So that was almost 2 years ago. I haven't missed a day, and I don't plan on missing a day really until I die. Right now, at this point, it's like I just plan on keeping on doing it because the more I do it now, the more centered I get, the more we pick up like baggage throughout day-to-day life. So it helps you just kind of filter stuff out, ground you. But yeah,
well,
so that's that.
you know, I love that you keep bringing up Balchek because you know, I studied with him, and I started with the Chek Institute when I was 19 in 2014. So he kind of molded my habits from, you know, 19. I was a relatively young age. So, you know, one of the biggest things that they teach us in the Chek Institute is like sleep is like everything, right? Like sleep is the most important thing. And what I kept coming across every time I would stick to certain habits is like maybe I have a busy day and then like it's like 10 p.m. I'm in bed and like I'm literally like ready to fall asleep and I'm like, holy shit, I forgot to do these two things I was committed to. And then there I am, like, they have this debate, you know, of like, oh man, do I get up right now and do those things? And like, dude, I'm going to stay up till 2 a.m. if I fucking get up right now. And I'm going to wake up early. And then I'm going to be tired for my clients the next day. And that's going to leak into the next day. I'm not going to be able to work out because my energy is going to be low. And then I'm throwing myself off back. And then these 1,000 thoughts start coming to me. Like, how do you deal with that? What's the choice to make in those situations?
Well, the choice to make is that day, you got to do it. When you make a commitment to something, you have to fulfill your commitment. So you fucking, when you're lying in bed, you're fucking dead tired, and there are two things you got to do, and you know in your heart, you listen to your heart, and it tells you, no, you told yourself you're going to do this, you get your ass up and you do it. But then after you completed it that day, then you have to really be like, okay, how can we avoid making that mistake again where it's late at night, I'm dead tired, and I missed my things, and now it's either go to sleep or do it. The solution to that is the morning. You know, you got to get up early. And like, that's
interesting.
the key. That's why every successful person gets up super early and has a morning routine. Because when you have that, it's like you're always getting it done first thing before anything else can come in the way. So there's nothing else before clients, before anything, before the family gets up. Like you have to get up earlier. I call it your rising routine. I'll still say morning, but I try not to say it because you know about like word spells and stuff. Like morning is like you're mourning someone's death. So I call it rising routine. It's a grand rising. You're rising out of your sleep, coming back to this dimension, and that's your time to hit whatever routines you need to hit. Get your stuff done. That's the time to get the commitments done, so you're not stressed out at the end of the day.
Got it. So sticking to it no matter fucking what. Sacrificing that sleep and then doing your best to be like, hey, having a serious kind of conversation, like we can't let this happen again. Let's mitigate this. Let's schedule it. And you're saying to schedule that stuff in the morning.
Yeah. Basically, that day, you got to stick to it. But then, find a better solution. Like most people will be a lot more productive getting up earlier and going to sleep earlier. Even the people that think they're night owls, they haven't really tried. Like, they might say they're productive late at night, just because they haven't really tried getting up super early in the morning. Those early morning hours, those are very powerful hours for spiritual development. So I would say, anyone looking to start some kind of practice, whatever you're attracted to in your heart and your soul, whether it's the standing meditation, some kind of other yoga practice, other meditation, whatever it is, some exercise routine. But I would say just make that time in the morning. Like what I used to do is when I first started doing these gongs, I would kind of do it anytime during the day as long as I got it during the day. And I ran into that same issue you're talking about where some days it's like I didn't want to do it first thing. I'd go through my day and I'd be like, fuck, this sucks. I just want to relax in the evening. I want to go to sleep.
Bro, that's happened to me so many times.
I just had to get it done. Yeah, so I solved that by literally, for the past almost 9 months, I've set a certain wake-up time. I get up at 3 a.m. every single day. I'm just putting this out there. don't get up at 3 a.m. That's something that my soul told me to do. But most of you guys out there can probably get up at like 5 a.m. If you're a man, you can get up at 5 a.m., you know? And like, then what? Most people start like their actual work and stuff at like 8. So then you have 3 hours of you time. You can do your meditation, do some journaling, just figure out what routines you want to do. But what I started doing is just getting up at whatever my set wake up time was every single day. So even days where I don't have obligations or work, I'll still get up at that same time. And it's like, it's an everyday thing. I just never miss. And that becomes another source of discipline, is when you get up at that same time. Even if it's like a Sunday or something, it's a Sunday, you have nothing to do. If you still get up at 5 a.m. on a Sunday to do personal development work, you're showing God that you're fucking committed. And then you're going to be like rewarded with that commitment. You know, you're showing that you're not just going to get up for work. You're going to get up to work on yourself.
Most of the time I wake up at 5 every morning, and Saturdays and Sundays too. You kind of, honestly, weekends, for some reason, waking up at 5 a.m., you kind of feel like you're ahead of the game. Like, you know, everyone's a fucking sleep. So you just kind of you move different, you know? It's so funny. So you wake up at 3. That's kind of, sorry, what was you going to say?
We talked about mourning, you know, like they call it mourning because you're mourning death. You know, weekend, you're being weekend. You know, it's like everyone's getting weekend on the weekend because they're making stupid fucking decisions. They're going out and drinking with their buddies, playing like grab ass with their buddies, going and trying to seek meaningless sex, just fucking drinking like we've been programmed to do. And they think, you know, that's how they unwind from, and you only have to unwind because you're living the rest of your life. You're doing something you don't like doing, so you're really medicating your pain and fucking going and drinking. Drinking alcohol is a fucking hard drug. I haven't touched that stuff for 5 years, and I will never touch that stuff again. Never again in my life. The only time maybe I'll touch alcohol is if it's in a tincture or something, a herbal tincture, but still I don't like that. But honestly, I'll never touch that stuff again. I think alcohol is one of the worst things that's ever been done to our society. It has no upside. It makes men into fucking weak little bitches who can't talk to girls and stand up for themselves without it in their system. It's fucking like pussy juice. It's fake courage. Go develop some real courage. So if you're out there and you fucking drink, don't do that anymore. You know, just switch to some weed or anything else. You know, weed's not as bad. Weed's, you know, you still shouldn't get addicted to weed, but weed and alcohol are totally different things. Alcohol is a hard drug, and it's like, it just makes our society worse. So step up right now if you're listening to this and quit that shit. You know, your heart's telling you to give that up.
That's true.